Welcome to the 1% Better Recruitment Podcast. I'm your host, Charles Kiriakou. If you are new around here, what you can expect with this podcast is practical tips, strategies and tactics all around getting you 1% better in recruitment. But it's unlike most recruitment podcasts. We do love to have a little bit of fun on this show. We do share some real interesting, funny stories, war stories, but ultimately everything is all packed with loads of value to help you get 1% better in recruitment. If you are returning to the podcast, make sure that you are following and subscribing on whatever platform it is that you listen or watch this podcast on. Make sure that you're following me on LinkedIn because I post pretty much every day around some tips to help you get better in recruitment, specifically around business development, mindset, that kind of stuff. And also, if you're on TikTok, every single episode, there's clips from the episodes, 30 to 60 second clips that get shot on over to TikTok. So make sure you're following on there. Enough from me. Let's get into this week's episode. Right here, thank you very much for joining us on the show today.
No problem, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. We had a nice coffee, we had a big old chat beforehand. Before we get into what we're going to talk about, for people that may or may not know you, I know one of the things we wanted to talk about was your story, because we actually went for lunch in early December or something like that.
Yeah. Wasn't it a Japanese restaurant?
It was, yeah. It was nice. We started reminiscing about the old days of sales.
That's right.
Will heavily influence this conversation. But tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and
so,
a little bit about your story.
My background is, I'm from a little village in Southampton, which not a lot of people know. They just think I'm a London boy. I'm not. I'm from a little village called Chandlersford, which is in Eastleigh, which is in Southampton.
Right, okay.
So it's just outside of Southampton. It's in the middle of Winchester and Southampton. I was born in Winchester. It was the capital of England, by the way, if you didn't know.
Really?
London. Yep. So there's a bit of general knowledge for you all.
Nice.
So I grew up there. It was very family orientated. Have an older brother, a mum and dad. Still actually live there, so I travelled down quite often there. And basically, I went through school. And then went to college, kind of really started to think about, and I had an itch just to start working. So I was heavily into playing cricket, and I got to county level, and then everything started slipping, started drinking a lot. I mean, my focus was going, and I thought, right, what shall I do? I want to make money. I'm in college, don't really like studying. I just want to work. I'm a bit of a doer. So I was like, okay, let's start a cricket business.
Okay.
So I started a one-to-one cricket coaching business, did my college, and I got into university because my parents were like, you need to go to university. Your older brother is the shining light. You need to do exactly what he's doing.
What did your brother do at uni?
IT. Went to a better college. Because he wanted to travel further. I was like, I'm going to the college that's down the road. That's not as great,
right?
And that's me done. They were like, okay, we allow you to do that.
Is it a cultural thing as well? Is it with your family? Like, you have to go to university, you have to go to college.
100%, yeah. Even probably now, it's a taboo if you don't get a degree. Oh my God! So watch out. Get your seatbelt on.
Yeah.
Because then what happened was. I went to university, I went to Greenwich University, and I did it in building surveying.
Right, okay.
And the only reason why I did it in building surveying, because there was a surveyor that came round our house before we had an extension, and he was telling me about how much surveyors earn, and I was like,
oh, a lot of money.
Really? A lot of money, yeah? And he was like, yeah, he parked out his blue Subaru, and I was like, I like your car, really like it. And then he was like, yeah, if you do this. I was like, Mum, Dad, building surveyor, here we come. And I still actually really like buildings. I like historical buildings. When I go on holiday, I like to see them and see those different things. But when I went to university, I spent 7 months there, and I wasn't going to my classes. I was partying. I was free. I was in London. I was like, this is incredible. I was in a place called Eltham.
Right, okay. South, or is it? Oh, okay, in Kent.
Southeast London, yeah, right, but it was towards Kent. So you're like on the cusp of Kent and Southeast London. So I was actually going back and forth to university and back home because I still had my cricket coaching, one-to-one cricket coaching.
Whilst you're at uni?
Whilst I was at uni. And I had people calling me up going, my daughter and I had this one client, and daughter was like, she's got Hampshire trials. She's Hampshire. I need you to coach her. I'm studying building surveying here. I'm tracking back down, getting some extra money. And 7 months later, I came home to Mum and Dad. I said, Mum, Dad, I'm wasting your money. I don't want to do university. They were really upset.
I bet.
They were so disappointed. And I was like, oh God, I've just disappointed my parents. What am I going to do? Still do my career coaching thing. Mum and Dad are like, what are we going to do? We've got one son who's, done really well. You've got the other one what is he doing with his life?
Dossing around. He's got this cricket thing going on. What is he going to do? And I remember my dad and I having a real big argument about it. So I had enough. I was like, right, that's it. And I opened up a Yellow Pages book. Big, the big fat ones. I remember the Yellow Pages, yeah. I remember the adverts for the Yellow Pages.
I was like, what am I going to do? I sat in my bedroom, small little bedroom. I was like, I need to get something. I need to get work, because now I just need to focus on getting the number one goal. Blinkers on is I need to find work. Open up the Yellow Pages and recruitment agencies. So
What year was this?
In 2007.
2007.
So
yeah. Just before the big market crash.
Yeah. So 2007, I'm opening and recruitment agencies, and saw an agency that did construction and engineering recruitment. And I picked up the phone, and I was like, "Hi, I'm Rohit. I've got 6 months experience in building surveying for a degree in Greenwich." And the guy said to me, "Mate, you sound really good on the phone. Why don't you look? I can't do anything. You haven't got your degree. There's no way of me getting you into a building survey. But you sound really good. We're hiring here." And it was I don't mind mentioning his name. His name's Josh Young. And this guy, I don't know how he went to my school.
Really?
5 years older than me. But I knew who he was.
Wow.
I knew who he was, secondary school, and his name was Josh Young. I'm still friends with him now. He runs a really good job board, energy job line. There's a little thing for you, mate. You owe me. And he said, look, we're doing an open assessment day. And you could earn over 100 grand.
Oh yeah, the classic. Yeah,
I was like,
in your first year.
I'm coming. Beep. Mum and Dad, guess what? I'm like, well, I've got this job opportunity, and I'm going to earn 100 grand. My dad was like,
nah.
My dad was like this. Yeah.
What do your parents do?
Good question. My dad worked in a Ford factory. So, background of my mum and dad. My mum and dad are from Kenya. They were born in Kenya. They went to, then they moved to India, and they did their degrees and everything else. But then they moved to England. So my dad worked in a Ford factory. He was very clever, really sharp guy. He actually did a degree in law. Didn't finish it because he moved to England, because the whole family did. So he lived in Tooting for a while, and then went down to Southampton because there was a big Southampton transit factory, and he worked as they call it a panel beater. Okay. So basically they check the sprays and stuff like that. He did that for 35 years, 40 years. Wow. He was there in that one company.
Man, that's the older generation, isn't it? They just stay in one company.
Man.
And just
one company.
It's mad.
Cut his sandwiches in the morning.
Yeah.
Left a £5 in the pot, and he did it every single day. Yeah. Nights, days.
Wow.
He worked hard, and that's what I saw. Like, I saw graft.
Yeah.
That's what I grew up with. Graft.
Yeah.
Okay, Dad's grafting.
Yeah.
Mum's grafting. She worked at Securitas.
Okay.
Which was a do you know what they are? They like have you ever seen the guys with the helmet and they bring the
exchange the money?
Yeah. Big vans.
Yeah.
My mum used to work at the headquarters for that. She did that for 30 years. So she got a really good pension with Barclays. My dad's got a really good pension in Barclays. And now they're sitting in their house, rattling around, go to the gym, have a coffee. Brilliant. They're having a great time, and they've been really good, and it inspired me to work, and that's why I've got that kind of work ethic, I guess.
So you got your first job in recruitment, but obviously you're not doing recruitment anymore. So how long were you in recruitment before you moved into tech sales? Hey guys, quick one before we jump back into the episode. If you are a recruiter who feels like half your week disappears into admin, follow-ups, data cleaning, and jumping between several different tools, then listen up, because this episode is officially sponsored by Sourcewell. Sourcewell is the recruitment productivity platform, and I don't just mean another tool that you'll forget to use. I mean the tool that actually gives you your time back. You can run your entire desk in one place. Outreach, sourcing, data enrichment, multi-step email and LinkedIn sequences, inbox management, and even call notes. It's all there, synced, automated, and according to their stats, recruiters using Sourcewell see 56% higher response rates, double the pipeline, and approximately save around 8 hours of admin every single week. If you're like me, admin as a recruiter is the devil, and this productivity platform really helps you save a load of time. So reach out to Sourcewell, go to sourcewell.com. It's a fantastic platform. I've used it myself. I really believe in it, and I'm super grateful for them sponsoring the podcast. Let's get back into the episode.
5.5 years.
5.5 years.
Yeah. So when I got this interview, it was a round table. And
I remember you telling me this is a funny story here.
I get to the round table, got the two directors either side, and we're around. There's probably 7 or 8 people, and I sit down, and it was like an assessment. So the first thing you had to do, they went around everyone, and you had to sell your hobbies.
Sell your hobbies.
So sell your hobbies, like explain your hobbies and your interests.
What, and then try and sell you on the idea?
Yeah, sell yourself.
Oh, right.
Sell yourself.
Mate, I would not be able to stop.
So I was like, right, I'm going to do it in cricket, aren't I?
Yeah, of course.
In my head, I'm like, I'm going to do it in cricket. Like, you have to make quick decisions, right? Because in recruitment, you've got to make quick decisions. It's fast-paced. Right, so in my head, right, I'm going to do cricket. It's my hobby. I've got a massive passion for it. Start talking about it. Yeah, it's cricket, This is what, I don't know what I said, but apparently I did really well. So the director went, okay, Rohit, you did really well. As I said, recruitment's all about making decisions. Can you tell me, and this is in front of everybody.
How many people?
It's about 7 or 8 people in the round table. I mean, you don't hear this anymore.
No.
But at that time, he said to me, verbatim, tell me who you think should leave this process right now. So in my head, my naivety head, I was like, well, this is what life's all about. I've got to make a decision. He's telling me I've got to make a decision. I saw this other guy sitting on the other end of the table looking a bit sheepish, and I just went, sorry, mate, you didn't explain your hobby really well to me. See you later, mate. He walked out.
You just do not hear about that these days.
Who does that?
It's mad.
So anyway, the next one, we had to get into pairs, and we had to something or other, do something. It was an interactive one. Anyway, got to the final. It was a lady and myself, and they were like, right. The lady went upstairs. She got the job, and they went, right. But for you, we've got you a job. It's in London. I went, yes. Got my bags. Said, Mum and Dad, I'm going to make 100 grand. Laters, I'm gone. My dad was like, what are you talking about? And for years, my dad went, you need to come home now. You need to come home. You're not making 100 grand. You're not. I'm like, Dad, I'm going to do it. 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 And yeah, it was a journey, to be honest with you. That you know, 5.5 years of doing recruitment was a bit tricky.
Yeah, I mean, most people's journey in recruitment it's not just like that or like this. It's always up and down, especially back then, mate, like, because you started in recruitment a few years before me, like
2007.
Yeah, man. So I started in 2014, and I still classify like 2014 as like cowboy days. Like, there was some stuff.
Really?
Oh, mate, like when I moved from a company called Sensible to Projectus, and I was at Projectus for 6. You know them. We used Pager there, and obviously you know Wadsey as well.
Big up Woodsy.
Big up, obviously, yeah. When I went to that company, it was the first company I'd worked at in the city where there were different ethnicities, different cultures. We had an Italian market, we had a Benelux market, a DACH market, and I'm looking around and going, wow, like everyone I worked with were all North Londoners and Hertfordshire people. Do you know what I mean? Okay, we had different ethnicities, but the blacks, the whites, the Greek, we were all the same because we're all born and raised in North London. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I'm in the city and I'm like, wow, like you've kind of just got to be a little bit more professional and a little bit more whatever. When I tried to explain, like, oh, there was one time we did a BD sprint, I wasn't allowed to sit down for the entire day, and people were like, oh, really? I mean, yeah, I made a bit of a mistake. I forgot to text someone, and my manager said, I had to stand on the desk and explain to everyone why I was a see you next Tuesday, and everyone in the office went, what? I went, yeah, that was just standard. I didn't do it. I stormed out, and then like he grabbed me after and was just like, just bollocked me in front of everyone. They were like, wait, in front of the whole office? I went, yeah. That's just not fair. That's an HR thing. HR, what's HR?
Yeah. That's
and it's like that. When I went to interview after I left the contract market, they were like, so talk us through your BD strategy. I'm like, BD strategy? And they're like, yeah. So like, how did you grow your desk to, up to 10K weekly GP? And I went, oh yeah. So the director just had like a list of like 1,000 contacts, and I just called them. And they were like, right. So what was your training? Like, we didn't have training. I just called, and then my manager would be like, that was a good call, or that was a shit call.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. We didn't have anything.
No.
That's just what it was.
Well, I had a list. I literally would have a list in the morning. I'd have my list in the morning, get that list, and then just call. LinkedIn just came out.
Yep.
LinkedIn literally just came out.
Yeah, we didn't even use LinkedIn back then.
So it was like, oh, there's this thing. It looks like Facebook, but for professionals. I was like, okay. Oh, I'm printing out CVs. No, not CVs. We're not doing that anymore. You've got to email, do this stuff. I was like, I'm used to doing the emails. I like the paper. And I remember one company I worked for, they had a table full of Mavericks, they were called.
Maverick?
They were called Mavericks. It was the Maverick table. And the company no longer exists, but they had a row, and there was probably about 7 or 8 Mavericks. And what that meant was that they were billing consistently, like, I think it was over 20 grand a month or 15 grand a month, one of the two. And you were classed as a Maverick.
That's mad.
So everyone else is like the other tables, and you're like, wow, I'd love to be a Maverick one day. Maverick lives, wow, crazy. I mean, that company doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. And then what happened was, so, you're going back to obviously from recruitment to tech sales. My wife, now my girlfriend at the time, I remember I was living in Peckham. So I've gone from a little village in Southampton, now living in the back end of Peckham, by the way.
Yeah, which back then, by the way, for people that don't know, Peckham wasn't exactly the nicest of places. It's a little bit nicer now.
And the only reason why I chose Peckham is because, remember, I went to university. I made some friends there. I made some connections, and they were all in Southeast.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'll just move to Southeast London.
Sense, yeah.
New Cross, Peckham, Deptford, Brockley. You can get into London quite easily. I got a bus, the 63. I saw it last night. The 63, and they'd take one bus, and that'd take me to Borough. And then I'd get off that and then go into work. So anyway, I was looking around. I'd spent my last year, 2011 to 2012, so a year and a half at one company, and I got offered a job with Morgan McKinley. And the guy, even still today, I speak to him, he goes, I'll never forget what you did. And I was like, what? That was like, what are you talking about? That was like 13 years ago. He goes, yeah, well, I won't forget it. I was like, I'm sorry. Anyway, this is the story. So I got the offer from Morgan McKinley. I had about 3 or 4 interviews. The guy that recommended me was a guy that I used to work for another business. And he said to me, you should work for Morgan McKinley because we've got a reputable name. I was like, yeah, that's a big name. So he goes, when you call a bank or a company, they know who you are. Yeah. Because when I worked at other businesses, they didn't know who I was. And then all of a sudden you go, I'm a recruitment agency. They go, beep. Like, oh my God. Like, but when someone heard Morgan McKinley, they had the brand, they had the and I was like, yeah, that's going to give me some respite because man, I need it. I did have offers from like Spring and stuff, and back then I thought, I wish I'd not worked for maybe the smaller unknown agencies and work for a company like that, so I could really understand the motions. And that was maybe the time I should have done it. So I got the offer, and then I randomly got a call on my mobile phone, and I said, "Send me over paper. I'll go sign it." And then that night I got a phone call, and it was a lady called Lisa Johnson, and she's like, "Oh, I'm working at a company called Broadbean." I was like, "Yeah, I've used Broadbean," and they were like, "Well, they're looking for a sales executive." And I thought of you because, you know, you're really good on the phones and that's what they need. And you're selling to recruitment agencies. And I was like, that's weird, isn't it? That'd be quite good. I know recruitment. I've used Broadbean before. So I did the interview. Dan Cohen, who I have so much respect for and I owe quite a lot to, made me an offer. I remember going in there full suited. I had a waistcoat, I had a tie, I had this grey suit, and I was, I was dressed to the nines. Walked into Broadbean and everyone's wearing like jeans, and hoodie, and there's a TV, and it's music blaring, and everyone's walking around, and I'm like, what is going on here? There's like there was like 40 people. It was like an L shape, so it was up there and then round there. And I was like, what is going on here? And I'm like, I've got this red tie on and I've got a waist jacket. And I was like, oh my God, I look way out of place. And I remember sitting in a room and Dan was like, back in a sec, man, I just need a Waz. And I was like, oh God, what am I going to do? Like, I took my tie off, took my jacket off just so I didn't look. And he was like, you all right? And I was like, yeah, mate, yeah, I'm just, and he was like, yeah, relax. And I remember he had his Adidas trainers on and jeans. I don't know why I remember he had Adidas trainers, but he had Adidas trainers. And he was just like, look, you know, we spoke, we had a good hour chat about everything, about what I'd gone through. And he was like, look, do you want the job, mate? It's yours. And you know, we'll be together. And I was like, yeah, man, definitely. And he was one of the best managers I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, I love
Out of
that.
all the people that I worked for, Dan Cohen was someone that I really got on, got me to focus.
2 to 3 reasons why he was the best manager you ever had.
If you are a recruiter or a recruitment business owner and you are wondering, how do I elevate my skills in recruitment? How do I help my team improve their BD practices? Is my strategy working? Why are people not picking up the phone? Why am I not able to pick up the phone and be confident in selling? Why am I not able to get more clients on exclusive, sell my first retainer, get higher fees? Why am I struggling to convert clients from an initial cold call? Or maybe I'm not even getting clients on the phone. Like, if you're struggling with any of those types of things, the short answer is there's no like silver bullet for this type of stuff, but that is ultimately exactly what I do. I help recruiters and recruitment business owners specifically with recruitment, business development, performance coaching. So if that is something that you are potentially open to, all my details are below here. You should definitely follow me on LinkedIn, message me there. Always happy to help. And first time we speak, not going to charge a penny. Ultimately, this podcast, I want to help people, right? So if you are interested, reach out to me and let's talk.
I think he just empowered me to take control over my desk. Said, look, this is what you got to do. I followed him. I learned from him. He treated me well.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't treat me like I was some sort of young buck. He treated me with respect.
Yeah.
Bit of respect, you know, and I wanted to work for him. Once you've got that, you've got that person.
Yep.
So once you've got that respect and you treat that person as a human being, then they won't leave you. No matter how...
That's half the battle when it comes to leading people, isn't it?
Salaries and all that stuff, that's out the window. Because I'm comfortable now. I remember doing my first deal in the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Give a grad a go. I don't know if you've heard of them or not. I picked up the phone. I used to research companies, how many job boards they use, and write them all down and go, look, I know you're using 5 job boards. Company called Broadbean, this is what we do. Told them about everything else. They went, come down. Yep. Did the demo, and he was like, yeah, I want to go forward. I was like, this guy's come in, 4.5 grand. Some people were like, just come in, 4.5 grand. What? Who are you? Sorry, mate. I'm going to get back on the phone to you.
Yeah. So how long were you at Broadbean for?
6.5 years.
And did you start Pager straight after that?
Yeah. So I saw a shift in the marketplace.
Yeah.
So as you know, job boards were sort of declining. back then, 2012, people were using like 7 or 8, 9 job boards. But then they started all coming together, like they would start buying each other and stuff.
Yeah.
So to now, I'd call up an agency, it'd be like, oh, I'm using one job board, multi-poster, what should I do? So the time was like, so Darren and I started Pager, you know, social media was a thing, using your website was a thing. So how do we get people to use social media, but drive people back to their website? Rather than job after job after job, how do you start communicating with your audience? Because the problem is recruiters don't have time or the know-how. So rather than just saying, I've got a job, it just becomes white noise. Oh, he's got another job again. He got another job again. And you've spent a lot of money on your website. How do you get traffic back to that website? You're driving traffic to a job board, Indeed or CV Library and stuff like that. No, you want to be driving traffic to your own brand. But more than that, you've got a network full of 15,000 people that are in your industry, that are in your network. Just communicate with them. Start asking questions. And so we built that part. And, you know, Page has been going for 8 years. So we did the marketing side, and that's really, it worked really well, and still does. We've got the video side of things, so the ability to do video outreach. LinkedIn gave us access to their API about 5 years, coming up to 5 years now.
Nice.
So what that means is that everything goes through their Pager system. But what that also meant was we understand what the do's and don'ts were.
Yeah.
So things like the hashtags, for example, and now they're starting to kind of slowly eradicate that. But video, for example, they're promoting video a lot more. Every time now I go on LinkedIn, there's a video.
Yeah.
Every time someone's using a video.
I wanted to ask you about that because when I first started posting on LinkedIn, our marketing manager, Nicola, said, we're going to start doing some video stuff. And I remember it very vividly. Her and Catherine, we used to work in WeWork in Chancery Lane. It was like a brand new WeWork.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Was it a red building?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Right? So we would find different places across the different floors to record a video advert.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing her and Catherine, and this isn't a dig, Catherine's brilliant at it now, but initially, the first time we ever do a video, right, take 10. Hi everyone, nah, right, go again, take 11. And then I just came out and I went, can I do one? They were like, go on then. And I went, cool, 3, 2, 1. Hey, it's Charles Kapoor. And then just bang, like that. And then she looked at me and was like, whoa, you did that first time, that's power.
Yeah.
Put it up on LinkedIn, had 3 banging candidates that weren't initially looking for work that said, saw your advert, I'm not actually open, but it sounded really interesting.
Perfect.
And I'm like, fucking hell, man, there's something here. So every single week I do 2 job ads, and then I thought, because back then I was a little bit immature, and I thought, let's see if I can do something silly, right?
Naive and stuff.
And I'd do some comedic type videos, so like, you know, and then I'd be like, oh, this company's bought so and so, here's what's happening, and then I just started to do videos. Then I did a podcast, and then it just started to explode. But the reason why I'm saying that is now, so if I post a clip from the podcast on LinkedIn, I'm lucky if I get 1,000 impressions. If I post just the thumbnail with bullet points what we've spoken about and a quote from the guest or whatever, it will triple the engagement. So I don't know whether just the videos are just, I could do better videos or something like that, but I'm noticing now that my text only posts pop way more than pictures and videos. I don't know why that is.
Really, that's interesting because everyone's using their mobile phones, right? I think 75% of people, I think the stat was like 75% of people use their mobile phones when they're scrolling through their feed. So when something's moving, they're going to stop and look. I don't know what the answer is to that one because they're saying that, well, we're prioritising video. So then we created a video integration, and you were talking about people doing the takes and stuff. So we built a teleprompter, so people can start reading off the teleprompt because and it's at the top. Before we had it at the bottom, so they were looking down, but now it's at the top. So your eyes are locked in with the camera.
Right.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
So that's why we built that part, and it's gone down really well. So you've got someone that's gone, I'm never going to use video, to now using video because we got this teleprompt thing. So it's quite a
my video.
Quite
I
a
think
shift.
if I was a recruiter again, I would definitely be posting more videos, especially if I had a
100%.
job ad. In my last company, they didn't do videos. Everyone on the shop floor was just terrified of doing a video. They were like, oh, it won't go down in the market. I went, I don't care what market you work in, it will go down well. So I got their top biller, Kareem, who was amazing. And I said, I'm just going to get you to stand up with the company logo on the TV behind you, and you're going to spend 30 seconds talking about why this job is interesting. And not exactly the most energetic because it's the first video he's done, but he was him. He's a very sort of nonchalant type of character, talked about the thing. About 80 likes, 50 comments, 10,000 impressions. And he went, Charles, I've got 15 people that are actually good, that aren't open to work, that are not on any job boards, that have all just messaged me directly saying discreetly that they've got a good job, but they want to speak to me. That's mad. So you've got to do it more often. But people struggle with video, man. People get really nervous. The minute a camera turns on, people go, oh, like that. Don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah, I have. And it doesn't come naturally to some people. They get nervous. They want to make sure it's right. They want to make sure that they come across well. When we did video, when I started video, I was terrible. But you got to get over it.
Yeah.
Like once you get over the first one and the second one, and you stop caring about what people think, because it's all in your head.
It is all in your head. And also, if you do, like I've done videos before or LinkedIn posts, and someone comments going, what a load of shit, and you're like, oh God, people are going to think I'm a fucking I'm an idiot, or like that. A week later, it's fish and chip paper.
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck. Like after a week, it's gone. Like there are billions of posts.
No one cares.
No one cares.
It's like something goes on video, on the news, and it's massive news for like a week. Yeah, and they start talking about it. They just move on.
I mean, we were talking about politics and stuff. Like, remember, like, was it 2024? Trump got shot. A week later,
no one talks about it.
No one talks about it.
I forgot about
That's
it.
huge.
To be honest with you,
Do you know what I
forgot
mean?
about it.
If that gets out the news, you doing a video and fluffing up your lines, or maybe looking towards the whiteboard to the teleprompter or whatever, people will forget about it.
I'll tell you what worked once, right? I remember when Darren and I were working in a shed. That's how we started, in a shed. We had electrics and stuff, and he had a running machine at the end of the shed.
Right.
By the way, so it wasn't a big shed. I'm talking about from here to there, yeah? So it was
how most entrepreneurs start, though, isn't it? In a shed.
And then there was the thing. I started in a loft, because I've got a loft conversion. So that's why two of our rooms that we've got loft and a shed.
Nice.
To rind ourselves. Anyway, I said, mate, when we do these videos, rather than just being on a camera, we should do something a bit different. And I first went, I've got an idea, guys. We'll rent a horse. Darren was like, what? Rent a horse. I'll go on and get one of these and I'll trot along. And Darren was like, what? And I was like, because then they'll remember us.
True.
So we had the treadmill, and I started talking about pager, this, that, and the other. And Tony was like, go on, I've got the camera. She's doing this, and I was running on the treadmill talking about recruitment and pager, and I stuck it on LinkedIn. Then I went to the Birmingham Expo about a month later. We didn't have a stand; we were just walking around because that's what you just had to do, right? We just had to do it. But I remember someone, it was Paul from One Way Resourcing from Southampton. And he shouted across the hall, and he was like, "Hi, Rohit, what are you doing on a treadmill?" And I was like, "But you remembered me though." And he was like, "Yeah, how can I not remember that?" And that just kind of reminded me that it works, and if you can get it right, and you time it right, then someone's going to go, "You was on that treadmill the other day. What was you doing on that?" And I was like, "Well, now I've got your attention. Let me talk to you about it." So that video side of things is good,
Yeah.
but over the years with Pager and running the business, you know, we've had to really look at the market, the industry, and really adapt.
Yeah.
So, you know, we got the marketing side. Then after COVID, we built job alerts. So you put in a job title, location, tell you any direct employers that are looking for that certain person. And that worked really well, and it still does today. So rather than searching on individual job boards, career sites, you've got your list in the morning. And my God, like, again, you know, talking about when we did recruitment, 2007 or 2014, man, imagine you had a list of direct employers. And there you go. Oh, this guy's looking for a project manager, direct employer. You can research who it is, get on the phone. And now you've got sourcing products as well. So not only you've got that, you've now got a sourcing product, you bring those two together.
Power.
And then that's power, right? You're saving a lot of time, a lot of efficiencies. So we built that, and then last year we built My Candidates, so uploading CVs, formatting it, and then matching it with those jobs. So we put in the job alerts into My Candidates. And one of the things that we did which was really important, we did right from the beginning of starting Pager, was making sure that we getting feedback from clients.
Yeah, it's huge.
Because I'm not doing recruitment. I'm selling recruitment technology. I need to understand. We need to understand, what do we need to do? What do we need to build? What's working and what's not working?
Yeah.
And you need to give us that feedback. Otherwise, we're just shooting in the dark, spraying and praying. You know, and one of the things that we want to do, and we've always tried to do, is make sure it's easy. Make sure it's easy to use for a recruiter, because they're busy.
Yeah.
They're busiest people in the world, apparently. and you know, we get the results. So reporting was really important. First thing is reports, making sure we've got that. We've now got integrations. But yeah, customer service as well, because don't forget, recruitment's very incestuous. Everyone knows everybody.
Yeah.
It's actually not as big as other industries. So you've got to really think about that as well when you're running a SaaS business. Even at the start.
Yeah,
right?
mate, 100%.
Now we've got 30 people, and I'm like, okay.
Mate, when I was a sales manager and a L&D manager, and you know, I wasn't necessarily the decision maker to buy tech, but I was utilizing it. Like when I was in L&D, we utilized Bullhorn, Cloud Call. So I would always have the analytics. I'd download calls, and whenever there was an issue with Cloud Call, and I don't remember, I used Cloud Call for 8 years. I think it's a brilliant product.
Yeah.
But notoriously, and this isn't me shitting on them, but like, and hopefully they're better now. But whenever there was an issue, you raise a ticket, you're lucky to hear back in a few days.
Oh mate,
In
no.
recruitment consultants, a couple of days is like an eternity. Do you know what I mean? And with like, I had a client last year, did an academy for them, and they transitioned to a new CRM. And I said, I've used that CRM for 8 years. It's brilliant. They were like, is it? Like, we don't actually understand. I was like, well, has anyone come in your office to like do the training? I went, no. They've sent us some videos. Are they the videos from America that like, welcome to our CRM?
No,
and they were like,
no,
yeah. And
no,
I went, the recruiters
no.
ain't going to watch us 10-minute video on how to add a candidate. Like, when I was the L&D manager, I recorded my own videos. They were like 4 minutes, and they were fun. It was me talking about this, that, the other, adding, you're going to add a HR manager called Karen McMahon. It's just little things like that.
But it's interesting because you've done recruitment.
Yeah.
And I've done recruitment.
So
we understand the language, and we understand
exactly.
the thinking of what they're thinking.
Yeah.
And they're not going to watch and sit down and watch.
Precisely.
No, hey, listen, there might be people now in 2026 that may think like that. So that's why we've got videos. But they're bite-sized chunks. They're like 2 minutes.
Yes.
Right. If you want to know how to create a video or to post a piece of content, this is how you do it. It's literally 2 minutes, and that's it.
Mate.
Not 20 minutes.
What you're talking about with Pager is a similar journey we've gone on really early on with Milo, right?
Right.
Where when we started speaking to investors and you know NEDs about, we've got this idea, and the first question we used to get from people, and a few people that have been on the pod have been like lovely with giving us advice and what books to read and stuff, were like, first question, mate, sounds like a cool idea. Did you just come up with this idea because you think this would be cool, or is this what the market's saying? We're like, no, this is what the market's saying.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's a great first step. The second thing is once you've built your MVP, don't just go, because you're going to think it's great. Is it though? Like, go out to businesses, because you're all based in the UK, go into the company, sit down with the consultant and get real-time feedback.
Yeah,
sit down with the founder
feedback.
and get
Yeah,
feedback.
yeah.
And then once you get that feedback, if they turn around and go, yeah, it is good, but it sounds too robotic, cool, we go back to the developers, we'll make it. So that is that, and it's the same thing in recruitment, mate.
Not just in founders though, the consultants as well, like because they're the ones that are using it, right?
This is
that's
what I'm
where
saying.
he's going to get.
Yeah. This is exactly what I'm saying. But it's the same thing in recruitment. I had a lady round called Sarah Lee. It was 2 episodes ago. And
yeah, I know her. Yeah.
She's awesome. First time she's ever done a podcast. Shit herself to begin with. Camera turns on. Got straight into it. Super passionate. Amazing. But she talked so much, and same with Roxanne that you started working with from Bolt Technical. Both of them said about customer service is such is a part of the process that people overlook in recruitment. Because I wanted to talk to you about like the sales and everything like that. But even in sales, man, like you're selling tech. I'm going to be selling tech soon. the fucking service. Like, you sold a product to someone. If you're not getting them good customer service, there's an issue. You're not being on the phone or being able to go out in person and solving those issues for them.
What doesn't help, right, when you're selling recruitment tech is that they've been burnt so many times.
Yeah.
And that doesn't help. It doesn't help. And I said this yesterday to a prospect. I said, it doesn't help that you've been burnt. That's not my fault.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we've got 30 people in the business, and I'm actually showing you a PDF of what the next 30 days will look like if you join us. What's the next 30 days will look like, and what's the ongoing support?
Love that.
Your account manager, every quarter, we've got a health score. So if you drop a certain number with your usage, you get notified. You're going to get called. You're going to get emailed because you dropped a bit. So when they're talking about usage and adoption, it is really important.
Can I ask you a question? Because I've got a funny story that I think will definitely put a smile on your face. When you're speaking to a business owner or recruitment founder who's in the market to buy tech and says the objection, Rohit, I've been burnt so many times by tech before. What's your response to that? How do you deal with that?
Well, when I'm doing a demo or when I'm on a sales call, because it's different.
Let's say you're on a sales call, because the demo, they've shown some interest. But say you're on a sales call, you've done your intro, you've kind of got past that, and then they turn around to you and say, because I've had this as a recruiter, by the way, and recruiters get this. I've been burnt by recruiters. I've been burnt by retainers.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably say exactly what I've just said, because, for me now, I've got into this mindset, and I should have done this ages ago, that everyone's human and everyone shits the same.
Yeah.
So just get over it, right? So for me, I'm like, look, and I tell it straight, right? Customer service is really important. I don't want you just for a year. I need you to be a lifetime client. So what that means is that you need to see an ROI and you need to be using the system. Otherwise, there's no point creating a SaaS business. I don't want you just for a year. You don't actually make much money in the first year of that client.
Yeah.
Because you've got to set them up. There's a lot of training to be involved. You've got to hold their hand. That takes time. You're paying someone to do that. Yeah. So actually, where we make the profitability is the second, third, fourth, fifth year. But the only way that's going to happen, that I make a profitability off you, is that you use the system, you see the ROI. They're like, oh, that makes sense.
So you're basically explaining to them that I'm incentivized to make sure this product works for you.
Expectations straight from the off as well. And even when I'm on the call doing a demo, set the expectations straight away. So I talk about myself, I do an intro, and I talk about the company. We've got 30 people in the business. Okay, and that's split between sales, implementation, and account manager. We need to make sure that you get results straight away.
Yeah.
Right, in the first 30 days.
Yeah, nice.
And then go from there.
Yeah.
And so set the expectations straight away. We now report like wins. So like Bolt Technical, one of the girls that work there, has just won a new client. And that's really good for us. It's really powerful, because then we've got a testimonial page that we can send that out to other people, and I'll be like, look, this is what people have done, and these are the page wins. Yeah. And that again.
And screaming about your testimonials is huge. I literally said this towards the end of last year, that I don't know what it is about something in my psychology that I don't know whether this is common for a lot of people, but it almost feels a bit too braggadocious to go, Feedback Friday, this is what a recruiter said about me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get over that now, and I'm coaching the solo founder, and we speak every Monday to do accountability check-ins, and I get him to call me whenever he needs something, and he sent me a bunch of emails, and he was just following our coaching session a couple of weeks ago, I'm on the precipice of pulling 5 jobs exclusive.
Wicked.
Can you see these emails quick? So I was on the phone with him looking through the emails. I was like, sorry mate, you've had one session with me, you've had one accountability call, we've spoken a couple of times during the week, and you've got 5 terms out with his businesses.
Perfect.
He's like, yeah, I've got 2 agreed, 5 more potential,
Wicked.
got these, and I'm like, oh my God, he went, mate, every fucking penny. And I was like, okay, right, Charles, don't shy away from this. That's a fucking good, that's a testimonial.
Win, mate.
Yeah.
100%.
But the story I was going to tell you before I forget, because it'll make you laugh. Because as a recruiter, I used to get this all the time, Charles, and because we used to work a lot retained, right? I've been burnt by retainers, I've been burnt by agencies. We try and do it ourselves. So my initial response, throw a bit of empathy out there and be like, look, totally get it. A lot of businesses I speak to have been in a similar situation. So if I were in your shoes, I'd be exactly the same. Can I ask you one question though, Mr. or Mrs. Client? Have you ever gone to hairdressers or a barber and they've screwed up your hair? And they go, yeah. Have you ever gone and gone to a restaurant and then they've either served you the wrong dish or your steak was a little bit underdone or overdone? They're like, yeah. did you just never go and get your haircut ever again? Well, no, I just found a new barber.
Yeah.
Did you just never go and buy steak ever again?
That's a good one. Yeah,
And
I
they
like
go,
that. Yeah.
no, I'd go to another place. Okay, cool. So just because you've been burnt by them doesn't mean that all recruiters are bad.
That's a really good one. I'm going to use that. I am going to use that. So when I speak to the guys next week, and they go, yeah, I'm going to use that. That's a good one. I like that. Yeah, thank you.
60% of the time, it works 100% of the time.
Yeah. I'm going to do that. Have you ever had a steak and it was undercooked? They'd be like, yeah. So you've never eaten a steak again? Oh, this is a good one. I like that. Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Couple of little nuggets.
Yeah.
I love it. And it's also like it humanises it, adds a little bit, because it doesn't like, and correct me if I'm wrong here, because that's something I used to use, but like, it doesn't sound...
I'm very smart on my face, I like that one.
It doesn't sound overly salesy.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
It's true though.
Yeah.
I've had loads of things that are that have overdone. It's not like I don't go back to Nando's again.
Yeah.
Just because they haven't given me chips.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's just humanising it a little bit, adding a little bit of humour. And like whenever I used to say that type of stuff, I'd always get a little chuckle and they go, all right then, go on then, tell us. And then what you said after around this is how we work and stuff, and that's kind of what you go into.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, let me know how you get on with that.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell me a little bit about, so one thing we spoke about when we had lunch back in December, whenever it was, and you were saying that, you know, I'm in the trenches right now, I'm on the phones, I'm doing sales, and we had a bit of a conversation around, you know, recruitment now. A lot of people almost forget that to its roots, to its core, it's still a sales job. You have the marketing, you have the service, the customer service, you have all this type of stuff. But at the end of the day, it is a sales job, right? That's my firm belief. So I'm interested to know from your perspective, like from your recruitment experience, your sales, you're running your own business, like what are you finding that's working for you right now with the sales stuff? Like, because I think people that listen to this right now, whether they're a recruiter, a founder, and anything in between, there are so many people out there that they make a few sales calls, they don't get through to someone, or they get a rejection, and they go, oh, do you know what, it's not working. Oh, do you know what, Rohit, cold calls don't work anymore. Well, you called 5 people last week, no one answered. Like, do you know what I mean? Because you talked about your story.
You've got to push the barrier.
Yeah.
You've got to really push the barrier. I'm gonna sound really corny, but I can't help it. The first thing I would say is you got to make sure you do your research before you do anything.
Yeah.
And I've been burnt a couple of times where they go on, and in the past it's like, oh, have you seen what I do? But the best calls I do is when I do my research.
Yeah.
You haven't posted in 6 months. Why is that? I haven't got no time. Well, here you go. Bang, straight away. You know, when I was at Broadbean, I know you use 4 job boards. This guy's done his research. Yeah. I know that you use Bullhorn. I know you use Vincere. I know you use Firefish. They're like, this guy has done my research. He's done my stuff. So make sure I always going into my day knowing that I've got a list of tasks. I've got demos booked in. And I'm always working 1 month ahead. So let's say December. December's a funny time. Okay, let's say we're in the middle of the year, right? If I'm doing demos, I'm looking at that going, I'm either going to close that end of the month or next month. So I'm always working 4 weeks ahead of schedule. So I'm always doing that. And I'm always looking at my pipeline. Here's a secret. I always look at my pipeline every other day. Every other day I look at my pipeline. Now, some people go, I do it once a week or once every couple of weeks. You actually got to look at it 2 or 3 times a week. So I'd put how much I build. So I get a piece of paper, because I'm still quite old school. Got a piece of paper, how much I build. On the left-hand side, I put in my pipeline. And what I do is I actually put my pipeline and I put in what I think is going to come in, any contracts out or anything like that, and I halve it. I halve that number. Yeah. Because the reality is
things can drop.
Things can drop. People can go. We're actually not doing very well. Give us a call back in 2 or 3 months' time. Something could happen. I'm ill. I'm sick. I'm this, that, and the other. And that is the best way to future-proof your billings every single month, is to halve it. So you think all these deals are going to come in. You've had good demos. After the demos, by the way, these are all the ones that I've done all the demos with, got next steps calls with, everything else. it's, let's say 25 grand. You halve that. It's actually going to be 12 and a half. So we need to find another X, Y, and Z and work it backwards.
Yeah.
All the time.
That's solid advice, to be fair. Yeah, because when I coach recruiters and they sit there and like, yeah, I've got 2 deals that are probably going to come through this month. And I go into it and I'm like, yeah, they ain't going to come in. Like, you need more. And or like the worst one I hear is, I've got this job on, I've got 2 really good candidates. You're like, okay, cool. Well, how many other candidates? It was like, well, they're at second stage now. You need to get some more, man. Like, you need to get some more. Because especially in recruitment, like, obviously in SaaS sales, it's I think in recruitment it's slightly different because the candidate can literally, like, mate, the stories I have of a candidate
that technology doesn't talk.
Super interested in the job, client super interested. They have a car crash and then they're, I had alcohol in my system, I can't drive. So now they can't do a field sales job.
Yeah, no.
And you're like, right, how am I meant to do anything about that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like, oh, my nan's ill, or my nan's dead. That's the classic cliche one in recruitment. Isn't it? How many nans have you got?
My nan's dead. The other thing I would say as well is when you do demos, and I've only started to do this, it's really bad of me, and I should do this in just normal life, is slow down and let the other person talk rather than just going, we do this, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Every single time there's a feature, I stop, I pause, so they can take it all in and let them respond. Because I had a habit of just going, da, 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 like a machine gun. And it's only because of my mistakes I'm saying this. Like, I'm guilty of it. I'm not saying I'm the best fucking salesperson in the world. I'm far from it. I'm not a rounded person. I used to be. What was it? I'm rough around the edges. Yeah, is what I used to be known for. You're not rounded.
Yeah, you're a rough diamond.
Yeah, you're a rough diamond. You need to be sharpened. What does that mean? I still don't know what that means. You're just not a bit rounded. I'm like, okay. Anyway, now I'm kind of understanding that you just kind of need to stop and pause for a second and let someone else speak.
That's actually like one of the best bits of advice for, especially for younger recruiters. Yeah. And even like, I've worked with seniors, to be fair, where they've got good billings, and I look at them and I'm like, you're doing 200k a year, like, you're a 500k biller, man. And then I sit down with them on like a pitch with a client, and the rapport building element is 30 seconds. How was your weekend? Good, yeah. All right, sweet. So let me tell you about my candidate. Let me tell you about our service. So retainer, and it's this fee. Thoughts? Oh, yeah, can we think about it? Yeah, no problem at all. All right, sweet. Yeah. What do you think, Charles? I'm looking at them going like, bro, like, you just talked at them. Yeah. Like, you just talked at them. And don't get me wrong, I think you and I are very similar, like the ADHD brain. We're very passionate, so we just want to fucking tell everyone
That's
about
another
everything.
Subject, conversation we can have another time.
Yeah, literally. And I get like that. Even on the podcast, like the first few episodes I recorded, and I listen to myself back because I go on these tangents and these rants, and I speak quite fast. And when I'm selling my services, and I'm like, and we talk about the mindset, the beliefs into behaviors and habits, and I have to go, pause.
Yeah, man.
And then just stop for a second. One thing I have got a lot better at is the ums and erms. I've almost eradicated them. I'm sure I still say them. It's a human thing. Point. I notice when I'm coaching recruiters that, I think it was Tony Robbins that said this, that the erms, the arms, the sort ofs, the kinds ofs, the, you know what I mean, the likes are uncertain language.
Yeah, it comes across uncertainty.
Yeah, and the more uncertain you are, the less you're able to influence that person. Yeah. So I think that element of slowing down, and also when you're pitching your service, your product, your candidate, your job, is every single time you do that, pause, ask a quick question. Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about this. What are your thoughts on that? Or how does that sound? Sounds good, right? Yeah. Cool. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah. That way, it just slows it down.
And it's a conversation. Yeah. It's just a conversation. Everyone shits the same. Everyone goes to shower the same. It doesn't matter. They don't have a special shower. And they don't have a special toilet.
I don't know if you live in my shower. I've got a golden shower, geez. What are you talking about? I'm joking. But you're right.
Everyone shits the same unless you've got one of those Japanese toilets.
They freak me out, but anyway.
Hey, listen, heated seat, everything. Woo. So, there's a hotel in London called the Londoner. Go in there.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Where's the Londoner? Is that near Liverpool Street?
Leicester Square. In the square. Right. They've got flags outside. Go in there. Just hello. I do it all the time. I go hello. Toilet. Toilets are amazing in there. It's so nice. I don't know why. I love going into toilets in hotels. I do it all the time with my friends as well. And like my wife and kids, I'll be like, I need to go to the toilet, right, hotel. Yeah. And I'll go in the hotel. Hello, sit down. My kids will be like, what are we doing? Waiting for daddy to the toilet.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah. So do you think that we're now going into 2026, right?
Yeah.
And I've spoken to quite a few people now. Like I went to the Sourcewell office, and it was interesting actually with that conversation with Dougie, because obviously their product initially was like an email automation tool, right?
Yep.
The whole topic of conversation was about how automation isn't enough. And I was blessed enough to be gifted their entire, all the bells, whistles, their CRM, their automation products and stuff. And I've been utilising it. And I'm mates with Emily. She was on the pod. She was one of the best episodes last year. And I follow her on TikTok, and she always gives me advice on how to use Sourcewell. And yeah, the interesting thing, what Dougie was saying was that, like, you know, just automated emails and stuff ain't enough.
No.
And the thing that he was saying to me he was like, when you use our product, you're going to get, especially for what I do, I'm a business development coach, right? Like if I'm not cold calling businesses, it's just a bit hypocritical. So I have like 5 or 6 emails, but between each email, there's a reminder for me to call that person. And if I call that person, I double dial, it goes to voicemail both times, I'll click complete task, and then the next email will go through. But every email that I send, I have gone through, and like you said with the research, I've personalised each email. So rather than the email go like, most recruitment companies struggle with BD, here's how I help. It's, I've looked at your LinkedIn profile, I noticed that it's personalised, right?
They can relate to
and
it.
then there's a task in there to SMS or WhatsApp and LinkedIn and, you know, connect with other decision makers, all that type of stuff. My question for you though is that with the rapid growth of AI, new tech stacks coming out every single day to help with this, that and the other, do you think that the recruitment agencies that are going to start relying too heavily on the tech are missing out on the simple trick that you can just still pick up a phone and build a relationship?
No, not just pick up the phone, go see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but people are always going to buy off people. But now people are going to buy off people that they trust. Yeah? So you were talking about the barber shop earlier.
Yeah.
Do you know, I only go to one barber.
Same.
Because I trust him. I trust him with my... If I go to another barber, I will shit myself.
Oh, I've been
to one barber and that's it. People are going to buy off people that they trust. People are always going to buy off people. Tech is never going to replace that. You can use as much tech as possible, but picking up that phone or seeing someone face to face is you're 75% there when you see someone face to face. Yeah, because they know you, they're starting to trust you, they're getting to understand you a lot more rather than a screen. Yeah. So my advice is, yes, use the tech. AI is not going to change everything, and if you use AI, have a human element at the start. AI does literally 95% of the work, but you need to have a human element at the end. I went to the Indeed's office, and the international marketing director said they did a few adverts and they cocked up because they used AI, but they didn't have a human element at the end. And I was like, wow, that is exactly the same thing that I tell a lot of my agencies. I say, look, you need to have a human element at the end, because you don't want to just let the robot just take control. You need to have human at the start, human at the end. Let the AI thing do its thing, and you just need to make sure it's true, it's you, it's authentic. And you know, use tech, because technology will make you much more efficient than when I did recruitment, right?
We had
do you know what I
nothing.
mean? You know, there's no point in scrolling through job boards. You just there's a platform to do that, right? There's a platform to, you know, CV format. There's a platform to, you know, make sure that you condense the platforms, and make sure you just use them in the right ways. But and I'm not saying to not pick up the phone, because I'd be a hypocrite, because I do that as well. Yeah, and I would think about, we've talked about headcount earlier. You don't need a massive agency to make big numbers. You know, as I said, I'm speaking this afternoon to a construction company. There's 2 of them. They're making good money. And if I was to do recruitment again, I wouldn't have a huge team. I'd be very, very lean, and I'd stay in my lane and stay in my market ultimately. You know, find a niche, find a vertical, and stay in it. And don't give up. That's what I would say.
100%. One more question before, because I know you got to shoot soon. I've had so many people on the show where we talk about the power of relationships, and, you know, in the world of AI, automation and tech, relationships will still trump. And whenever I post about that, I get the odd few characters that go like, relationships aren't quantifiable, it's not a data point, da 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 da. And I'm like, this might make me sound like a old git here, but there are certain data points when you're running a sales team, running a recruitment business, running a SaaS business that you need to look at, right? And I get to an extent why people think that relationships is a bit difficult because it isn't necessarily quantifiable, right?
Yeah.
Because I explained this to a founder I was speaking to on Monday actually, that we spent the first 15-20 minutes talking about our Greek heritage, and then we were like, should we talk about fucking business? Like fucking hell, right?
Yeah.
And I said, like, this is like a lost art almost, like just getting to know someone. How old are your kids? What sport do you do? What car do you drive? Whatever it is that they're interested in, all that sort of stuff. But my biggest thing that I say to people when they're like, oh, don't have time for the relationship stuff, is that if your market is software engineering, right, and you're speaking to the engineering director, and you look at their analytics on LinkedIn, they've got a team of 5, they're lean, they haven't hired for 4 years, right? They've got no adverts, they've received no investment, they're not really within your ICP, and you spent 40 minutes speaking about their kids and their dog and shit like that, and then turns out they're never going to ever hire unless one of their people that's been there 10 years. At some
point, they're either going to be a candidate or they're going to be a client.
Potentially, but I can understand that if you've invested 45 minutes on the phone to that person versus another person that has, that has plans for growth and stuff. What I'm trying to explain here, and by the way, I'm totally with you, but what I'm trying to explain or trying to empathise with the other people's perspective is that if you're allocating the certain time that you have per day to sell, would you not want to invest your time more in people that will buy?
That's an investment already, because at some point it's going to come back. Yeah, like he's going to remember you, or she's going to remember you, man. Yeah. So if it's an investment, don't worry. Yeah. Keep going.
So I'm totally with you. So the way my brain works is I always try and think about and try and understand from different people's perspectives. But I'm totally with you. And the guy I met on Monday said the exact same thing. And he's going to come on the pod and talk about some stories where he's gifted candidates to existing clients, where they basically said, we've got no more funding, we've got no budget for the end of the year, we do need this person, but I just can't pay for it. And he's given them a candidate and said, look, here's someone, look, take this person. And they've turned out to be a massive client of theirs because he's done them a solid and gone fucking we owe you. And now he's exclusive with them.
It's going to come round.
Of course. And he said to me something quite interesting, and I'm going to question him about this. He was like, you've got to be assumptive. And my trainer brain went, wait, what? Be assumptive. And I was like, no, assumption is the fucking mother of all fuck ups. I've learned my mistake. No. I'm not saying that you spoke to a candidate and then you're like, oh, I assume everything's cool. No, I still find the bad news. I find objections. But what I'm saying is I get on the phone and I'm assumptive that they're going to... basically what he's trying to say is he's optimistic. He gets on that call and he's assuming that this person's going to want to hire. He's going to want to work with him. So he's putting himself into the mindset that there's a future partnership here. And he said to me that it might not be now, but he was like, that's the trick with me.
At some point, it's going to come. Yeah.
And even if they come back to me and I follow up rigorously every fortnight and they go, Rohit, we're actually not going to hire. We've got no plans to hire. We're going to stay lean. But my mate runs a business. He's hiring. But an ex-employee of mine, referrals. Are you going to refer someone that spent 2 minutes on the phone and you said, we're not going to hire, and they go, all right, mate, cheers?
No.
Versus the person that took you out for coffee, took time,
100%.
calls you and says, how's your daughter getting on?
Yeah.
Of course.
You're going to do it.
Of course.
You just got to put in that time. People want instant results, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah. People want it now.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
And I think that's almost
and that's what happened back, in the old school days. Is just get references, and just get the clients. I'm like, these aren't references. I'm not supposed to do this. I'm going to do them anyway.
Yeah.
Scraping off CVs and doing references. You've got to play the long horrible.
Game. You've got to play the long game.
You've got to play the long game. There is no shortcuts.
Yeah.
Don't take the shortcuts. You're going to mess up.
Yeah.
And that's what I've had to learn.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I did it.
Yeah.
I'm guilty.
100%. Well, look, I appreciate you got to shoot soon. So, I've really enjoyed this chat, by the way.
Yeah, you too. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
As you know, every episode finish off with the same question. Following today's episode, how can people get 1% better in recruitment?
I think I'm going to kind of regurgitate what I've said. Mm-hmm. I think you've got to stay in your lane, stay focused, and one of the things that I have tried to be is stay consistent every day, and I've been doing that in my personal life. I guess it's like a mindset. Some people might get bored of it, but it's the mundane, lower end things that people really don't want to do that will get you faster and quicker to the top. But it's the like a pyramid.
Yeah.
Like it's the building blocks to then get to the top. Don't quit because people just get bored of it. Just stay in your lane. Yes, there's technology. Use technology. Be the most efficient person as possible. Make sure you do your tasks. You've got your to-do list, and stick to it. Stick to the process. Believe in yourself. Believe in the process, and it will come. It might not come tomorrow. Then there's no such thing as quick money. It just isn't. You just got to build and build and build, and one day it's going to come. Like, you just got to just make that move and jump.
Love it. Wicked. Awesome answer to an awesome episode.
Thank you.
In terms of how people can reach out to you, just tell people and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah, if you want to add me on LinkedIn, I think you'll probably put my LinkedIn page. I've got my number, I've got my email address. Give me a shout and I'll be able to help any way possible.
Wicked. Amazing. Cool. All right, guys, thank you very much. I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching or listening. Make sure that you are liking, commenting and subscribing / following the show, whatever platform it is that you are watching / listening to this on. Also, make sure that you follow me on TikTok so that you don't miss out on some clips. The monthly newsletter gives you a roundup of the episodes that happened in that month with some actionable takeaways for you guys that's going to help you get 1% better in recruitment. I would love for you to comment or message me what your biggest takeaway is from this episode. And if you or someone that you know is interested in coming on the show, as you can see, we have had such a broad variety of people that have come on the show, all in the aim to get you guys 1% better in recruitment. So if you want to help support me with the show, make sure that you're getting people in touch with me and also just reach out to me as well around the recruitment coaching training piece. That's ultimately how I fund this podcast, right? But loving doing this. Thank you so much for watching, listening. Can't do it without people that watch and listen to this podcast. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.